Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going over how to amend a partnership tax return form 1065. So how do you make a change to a tax return that you previously filed when you're a partnership or a multi-member LLC filing form 1065, the partnership return? So you filed your 1065 and then bump it along the road and you realize, oh my gosh, we made a mistake on that partnership business return. So how do you go back and update the numbers on that return to make them correct when you already filed it? So in tax lingo, that's called amending the return. So for all types of federal returns, and most state returns follow suit as well, the general rule is that you're going to file an X version of the original federal income tax return. So for a personal form 1040, if you need to make a change, once it's been filed and accepted, you file a 1040X. For corporate 1120 returns, you file an 1120X. And for our multi-member LLCs and partnerships that file the partnership form 1065, there also is a form 1065X return. However, in 2015, the Bipartisan Budget Act, also referred to as the Centralized Partnership Audit Regime, created some major changes to this traditional amendment process for partnership returns only. However, you can elect out of these rules, which I recommend everyone do if you qualify. And I have another video that will be going over how to elect out of the BBA rules. However, once you filed your original return, you cannot elect out of it. So to amend your form 1065 partnership return, I know you may not know yet if these rules apply or not, but I'm going to walk you through the steps, including these new rules. So step number one is to get a copy of your originally filed form 1065 and the K1s, everything with the return. Now update exactly what your changes are in your accounting and tax records. If you're using our system from the Master Your Accounting and Taxes program, I'd recommend even duplicating your income statement to save a copy of the originally filed numbers, then making any updates and having a second income statement for the amended return. Now, that's only if your accounting record had actually missed the error. Maybe the error was only made on your return. Just be sure to make solid notes about this in your records, because as time passes, you might not as clearly remember as you do now why you're making these changes. Step three. So those BBA rules generally went into effect starting in 2018. So if you're amending between 2018 and now, you'll need to check that year's return to see if you opted out of the BBA partnership rules. Look at your originally filed return, form 1065, page 4, which is the last question under Schedule B, number 33. And it says, is the partnership electing out of the Centralized Partnership Audit Regime under Section 6221B? See instructions. If yes, the partnership must complete Schedule B2 for the Form 1065. And so here you'll see yes checked or no checked to indicate if the election was made. And then you can also check for that Schedule B2 to be attached to the Form 1065. Okay, if you opted out of the BBA rules, so you said yes under question 33, yes, you're electing out, and yes, you completed Schedule B2, then you can simply file Form 1065X and give the new K1s to the partners for the relevant tax years once you submit and the 1065X has been accepted. Now, the easiest way to do this is to go back into the software that you used to originally file the return. So if you DIY'd filing Form 1065, there aren't too many options for doing that. You probably used TurboTax Business or Tax Act Business. You'll then tell the software that you're filing an amended return, and the software will give you very clear instructions. In general, it's going to enter amendment mode, and then you'll go back in where you entered your original numbers, and you'll update them to be correct. for the change. Then the software will automatically update the X form for you and allow you to e-file it. Once you know that the return has been processed and accepted by the IRS, then you can follow any state rules and give the K-1s to the partners. Then the partners will need to amend their personal Form 1040s for the changes on the K-1s, if applicable, if the changes affect them, which they most likely did. To do that, if they DIY'd their tax filing, it's the same exact process. Go into the original software and select amendment. I also have another video on this as well for amending personal Form 1040s. Okay, now what if you did not opt out of the BBA rules? If you did not opt out of the BBA rules, and you're filing an amendment for a prior year return, you're going to most likely need to file Form 8082, which is called a Notice of Inconsistent Treatment or an Administrative Adjustment Request. The Administrative Adjustment Request is this new version of filing an amended return. And essentially, you're not actually filing an amended return. You're just filing what the change would have been. And then under these new rules, we aren't actually going back to the prior years. Instead, there's this very new calculation for having the partnership pay based on what the maximum impact could have been to the partners. This is not very advantageous, but it can save a lot of the hassle and costs for auditing partnerships and all of their partners. So calculating the imputed underpayment amount. It is a very specific process of calculating any tax pretty disadvantageously for the maximum rate that this change could have been affected on the personal partner's returns. Then the partnership will either pay that imputed underpayment amount, which is very different for partnerships than in the past, where everything goes out to the partners and the partnership pays no tax. Instead, the partnership would pay that amount, or it can make an election to push out that change to the current year partners. So the current year partners might be different than the partners that were partners for the year that you're changing the tax return. So this imputed underpayment, I'll have another video going into depth on that, but it is a very specific process for calculating the change. And the calculation is done off form, meaning there's no actual form for calculating the imputed underpayment. There's a lot of new rules related to this calculation, and the instructions in case law are limited since it is newer and it's complicated. So that's why this gets a little difficult. It can result in some funky implications. So if you do need to calculate the imputed underpayment, or you have other questions about your partnership taxes and multi-member LLC taxes, check out the description box down below. I have a complete blog post guide with 6 things that every multi-member LLC and partnership business should know. And I have links to all the other topics that I mentioned, or I'll be adding those in as I go through these partnership videos. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comment box down below this video. I try to reply to everyone. If you're interested in getting my help, check out the Master Your Accounting and Taxes program. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing so that I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.